Minister of Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, and Vice President of CSIR. We are very privileged on behalf of all CSIR lab in Lucknow, Central Drug Research Institute, National Botanical Research Institute, Central Institute of Medicinal Aromatic Plant, and Indian Institute of Toxicological Research. The gathering is composite of all staff of all four institutions, so it's one family here in Lucknow. Also, this program, since it is being live telecast all over the CSIR, all over the nation, so I welcome you all, my colleagues, wherever you are in CSIR system. I welcome our mentor directors, Dr. Nityanand, Dr. Thaban, Dr. Kamboj, and directors of SGPGI and Vice Chancellor of KG Medical Institutions, and all my fellow scientists. We are very privileged today in this new campus. This is first visit of Vice President of CSIR to this new campus, and it's a historic moment for all of us because it's a new journey that this institution is going to take in this new campus, new challenges, new aspirations, and new commitment to the nation. The first part of the commitment this institution has very handsomely delivered as we deliberated in the meeting in the first half. And we are very pleased to have somebody who listened to us, articulated with us, and gave us path forward, how do we achieve that journey. So we are very privileged to have somebody like Dr. Harsh Vardhan as our Vice President and our Minister.
To drug discovery and development in India.
For clinical trials, Centcoman emerged as the drug of choice. Centcoman is only once a week pill, and that also can be avoided by taking it only post-coitally, because these are post-coital contraceptives.
Besides the oral contraceptive, CDRI developed a vaginal cream to stop unwanted pregnancies. The active ingredient in this cream is from soap nut. The institute has also developed expertise on male and female infertility. The success with reproductive health did not stop CDRI from probing further into women's health. A drug for preventing osteoporosis or bone thinning in older women is under clinical trial. The institute has developed expertise on the diseases of the central nervous system. The work done on antidepressants, antithyroid, neuroleptics, anesthetics, and neuromuscular blockers are well recognized. In the process, the institute has developed animal models for testing new drugs for several nervous disorders, including anxiety and depression, besides age-associated disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease.
The most important probably is the work that we have done with the traditional remedy, Bacopa Madira, which is also known as Brahmi. We have found a standardized extract which facilitates learning, helps its consolidation and retention for a long time.
The scientists here now have models to test the effects of drugs on memory and learning.
The second important area has been the relief of pain, and here we have been working both on drugs like local anesthetics and also systemically administered drugs.
Millions of people are affected by malaria every year, and quite a large number die.
The main focus was on malaria, and the clinical trial for the RT-Ether, that's the new drug which this institute licensed to industry and is now used in 41 countries, was completed in a record time. The clinical trial for 80/53, that is for the Plasmodium vivax, was also completed, and the drug has been licensed to the industry.
After identifying the drug from a plant artemisinin, scientists here devised ways to synthesize the drug and its analogues for better action. The expertise in synthetic chemistry has thus become world-class.
We focused our total activities into 4 major areas. As a result, we developed 2 new drugs in the area of anti-malarials, 97/78 and 99/411, which were licensed to IPCA for further development. And the third one was anti-osteoporosis drug, 99/373.
Besides the ones that are already in the market, CDRI has developed 2 more drugs for malaria. These new drugs are now under clinical trials. CDRI has mapped the genetic diversity of Indian populations in terms of their susceptibility to malaria. This closely maps with the malaria endemic areas and gives scientists new insights into the disease. Scientists here are now also looking at a cell organelle of the parasite with the aim of targeting it with specific drugs. Filariasis is also a tropical disease. Though mosquito-borne like malaria, filaria poses very different challenges to scientists. The institute has developed rodent models that mimic the growth of the parasite in humans, as well as methods to culture the parasite for understanding its physiology and genetics. Study of the immunological responses.
A very good afternoon to you all. It's a great day for us to have the head of our CSR family with us today, and more particularly in Lucknau, which is the medical hub of the nation. And not only that, it's the most active center for CSIR in terms of its 4 laboratories. Unfortunately, I have never been able to come and visit any of these 4 laboratories in any kind of a scientific activity or collaboration, because I come from a background of petroleum refining and petrochemicals, and there is actually a little bit of connect in terms of renewable energy, particularly use of Jatropha carcass and to be able to use it as a fuel of the future. But other than that, there is actually relatively a major disconnect between these 2 areas. But nonetheless, I'm very, very fortunate, and I consider this as a huge privilege to come here, not only to meet you and to visit at least 2 of the laboratories today, along with our Honorable Minister, but also to be able to address you as Director General of CSIR. We have always believed in CSIR that Lucknow, with its 4 laboratories, can deliver what others can't, more particularly in terms of future health solutions. Starting from medicinal and aromatic plants, which have been a major issue of discussion since morning as to how we can actually bring high science into our traditional medicine system to be able to identify molecules for specific disease solutions, to use of those plant materials to identify those bioactive species by CDRI, to study toxicology of those products by IITR, and to be able to produce those plants in commercial quantities for the right kind of a genotype by NBRI. Could be a kind of a unified solution which could be actually not only be an example for our country, but also as an example for the world.
Whether I go anywhere in the night or in the day or in the scorching heat or during the rainy season, I find that all over the country, all our dear friends from the media are all there, and I think they have a very hard task to do. We keep criticizing them if they will not publish a good story, but I always take that bad story also as a blessing in disguise, and I'll also try to learn something out of it. So it's a very privileged occasion for me that I am getting this great opportunity to be with all of you, to be able to share my views and thoughts with all of you in one single go. And you see, Lucknow for me is like a, not that I was ever born here, but we have a very, very special type of respect for this city in our heart and soul. And for me, it is because of the fact that when I recall all my best teachers in my medical college and my life, whether when we were in the medical college or whether when we were out of the medical college, I can recall that a large majority of them, or most of them, owe their greatness and their great intellectual capabilities because they all belong to the King George's Medical College. And that's why we have a special feeling of respect for this city. But I was just wondering, I know about CDRI at least for a couple of decades. I know about the great work that has been done here. I've been reading about it at least for 2-3 decades now. And you'll be surprised that I may have visited Lucknow not less than 500 times if I count it in my life. Because my room partner in medical college, in GSVM Medical College, he belonged to Lucknow. And every Saturday evening we used to ride from Kanpur to Lucknow on a motorcycle and go back on a Monday morning to attend the morning lecture at 8 o'clock. But when I see that it took almost 6 decades, or maybe at least after entering the medical college, you say something like 4 decades to be able to come to this very prestigious place. I think out of all the so many CSIR labs, I think this is probably the heart and soul of what we are trying to do. Others are also doing so much of good work. But at least I have been associated with the field of health also for over 4 decades now. And heart over the 4 decades has become like a heart, and this health has become like a heart and soul for me. An area which is like passion. And all my, look at the average weight with which a child is born. Hundreds of things, all these parameters. Still, in spite of a very robust universal immunization program, as per the official data, only 70% of our children, they have access to the free vaccines which are provided by the government free at their doorsteps. And last so many years, we have been able to eradicate only diseases like smallpox and polio. All the old diseases are re-emerging. We still have to face the dangers of the non-communicable diseases like cancer and hypertension, diabetes, etc., coronary artery diseases in a big way. They are all troubling us. But I feel so happy when I went into the history of CDRI and what they did, that the focus of the institution had been really to look at those diseases, whether they were malaria, tuberculosis, or leishmaniasis, etc., the poor man's diseases, where the focus was there, and we could produce drugs, whether they were for contraception or whether they were for improving our mental status, or whether the research is being done for Alzheimer's or whether it is for osteoporosis. We have actually focused on some of those very important areas where the country needs and deserves attention. But I strongly feel that in spite of all these very satisfying and high profile so-called achievements, there is a lot more that needs to be done for the people. We have got these huge battery of scientists, these laboratories. When I enter a lab and get into one of the rooms in a lab and see only one equipment and see the cost of it, an ordinary equipment is not less than a few crores. The microscopes and all those things. You see, all this money, these years has been spent on the research and for taking care of the scientific temper of the people. It has all come from the pockets of the people. And there is definitely a strong need to deliver it back to the people. Rightly it was said that we have done a lot, but now it is necessary to translate it into positive, successful action for the people, where they feel they can enjoy the benefits of this research. Research, science, medicine, the high profile of all this is meaningless if we cannot deliver its fruits to the people, and more particularly to the people who are the real have-nots and who are the real poor downtrodden. Still, and also convey to the Honorable Governor tomorrow that he should himself personally take up this matter, because that is history which inspires us, and that is history which reminds us of the great contributions of our great senior fellow scientists, doctors, researchers, people like Dr. Nityanand. So that part also has to be taken care of in a big way. My last appeal to all of you is to come out of the shell in which you are right now and try to find a new shell for you, a new very proactive shell, a new proactive vision, a new proactive thought process, and a new dream for each one of you as an individual and then as an institution. And plan a dream for you which you feel is very difficult and very seemingly impossible. And I can assure you that you will have the best enjoyment of your life if you start working for the fulfillment of that dream. Otherwise, maybe after a couple of years you will realize that you lived, but you lived in a routine manner and you have nothing to satisfy yourself. And with whatever experience I have of public life or of my association with polio eradication, I feel that even seemingly difficult and impossible dreams can be fulfilled if you work and have the commitment to work with sincerity and dedication. If you put your heart and soul into it 10%, the others are willing to put their heart and soul into it more than what you try to do into that. And God is always there to bless you. So with these new hopes for the people of India, these are not the new hopes for our labs or for our scientists, because what we are doing in our profession is for the people of India, for the mankind. And I have always believed that to have got an opportunity to be born in a country like India, this is a great privilege that we all enjoy because of the great, glorious history of this country, because of the great, glorious past of this country. Then, to be born in this country like a human being, that is another big privilege that we enjoy. Those who have read the Hindu Shastras, they know how difficult and after how much of struggle you get a birth like a human being. And that is where I always say that we were born like a human being, this is a privilege that we enjoy. But to be able to become a human being, that is a challenge that we all face. And that becomes more true or relevant when you become a doctor or a scientist. You become a doctor or a scientist, it's a privilege that you enjoy.